Hi, I am Peng, and this is a very quick setup tutorial for speedrunning Half-Life 2 new engine, Any No Voidclip. You will need a couple of things. First of all, you will need a timer. This is required. You need to have the timer visible on screen, and you need to have it set up properly. If you don't have the timer properly set up, then your run will not be accepted. For this, we will be using LiveSplit, which you can get from the LiveSplit website. If you are on Windows, then just grab the latest version. If you are on Linux like me, then you want an older version, specifically 1.8.29, at least as of making of this video. So I will download this older version. I will extract it on my desktop, at least for now. And as you can see, it's here. The second thing you will need is a version of the game that you can speedrun on. The latest version on Steam is very bad for speedrunning, and we will not use it. We'll use build 5288, which is one of the best builds for speedrunning and the best one for beginners. If you are curious about the differences between the builds, then there's a document that lists all of them. It's linked in the description. You will also need to go to this document to see the install instructions for 5288, which are here. The first thing that you want to do is make sure that Steam is open. Then go to your web browser and just paste this in or type it out. Press enter and let it open with Steam. This will open the Steam console, which is what we will use to download this older version from Steam. Once you have the Steam console open, then you will need to copy over this command right here, paste it in and just click enter and wait until it downloads. It already finished for me. After it finishes, you need to copy this other command and also paste it in. This one will take a bit longer, but it's already done. After it's done, you will need to navigate to it. As you can see, this is the path where the files have downloaded. So we will go there now. So these are our downloaded files. Now we will need to actually build the game using them. For that, we will create a new folder anywhere. I will just create from my desktop and call it 5288. Then we will need to open our first depot folder and copy everything over to this 5288 folder, and then do the same with the other one. And then merge the folders. Something to note, if the files for the game download incorrectly, you will need to delete these two patch files in order to re-download them, because otherwise you will not get the full game when you re-download. So now that we actually have the game, we are able to run it. And if you now enable the developer console, to lower the volume, you can see that we are using build 5288. You can also see this when you type in version right here. We are, however, not done yet. We will need to do some things with the game. First of all, we will need to create a custom batch file to run the game, to use some launch options for it. So I will just create a new empty file. I will call it hl2.bat. Now inside of this, we will do start hl2.exe -console, which will ensure that the timer doesn't run while we are in the menu, only when we are actually playing. Then -no-bit, which will skip the animation when booting up the game. And additionally, if you are on Windows, you also want to type in -window. This will launch the game in windowed mode, and you can also type in -no border to make sure that it launches in windowed borderless. The reason you want this is because, for whatever reason, on Windows specifically, launching the game in full screen will sometimes just crash your PC. We do not know why this happens, but it happens to everyone who plays on this version, so you have to launch it in windowed. Once you're actually in game though, you can just switch to full screen. Next up, we can close this now. We want to go to HL2 CFG, and we want to create a new file here, which is going to be called autoexec.cfg. Inside of this file, we want to type in cr_show +1 and cr_show fps1. any command that you put in this file will execute every time you run the game. This will allow us to see our position and FPS once we are in game, and at the very least, seeing your position is pretty much required for runs. If you don't want to see your FPS, then you can just remove this. It's not required, but I will keep it. Now, if you go to the Half-Life 2 page on speedrun.com and go to resources, you can see that there are some practice saves for version 5288. You can use these, and we're going to install them. Just open them, and you want to go to inside of your 5288 folder. You want to go to HL2 and then save. You can just drop all of them here. There's also a start save here, and we will use the start save for actually starting speedruns. Lastly, we will need to take one file from our Steam installation of Half-Life 2 and put it inside of our 5288 installation. If you are on Linux, make sure that here in Properties, in Compatibility, you are using Proton to run the game, because we need the DLL. Then just right-click Half-Life 2, go to Manage, Browse Local Files, and over here inside of bin, we need to find file system.stdio.dll. We want to copy this file, and now inside of 5288 we can also go to bin and paste it and just replace it. This will help prevent stuttering when saving in game. Now we will go back and we will launch our game via this hl2.bat file. And as you can see, it launched. And as you can see, the game launches. There's no cutscene at the start, and we want to change some options now. So first of all, you want to switch to full screen, always. And you always want to play at maximum gamma. Then in advanced settings, we want to make sure that high dynamic range is at full. It has to be at full for your run to be valid. If it's not full, then your run is invalid. This is because this older version has a glitch which breaks lighting unless this option is set to full. Make sure that vertical sync is disabled, because otherwise you will experience a lot of input delay. Then inside of mouse, you want to make sure that the raw input is enabled. This makes your mouse movement a lot more accurate. It's pretty much a requirement to actually run the game. And also in audio, you want to disable this, because this makes alt tabbing a lot more annoying. And now that the settings are complete, we can just start the run by typing in load start in the console. As you can see, we are right here at the start of the game. This is actually something that you can bind to a key. You can do this by typing in bind and then the key. For me it's the equal sign and then load start. And now if I press the equal sign on my keyboard, I'm going to just start a new run. Now we will go over actually getting the timer to work. So for this you will again need LiveSplit that we already have. You will also need these pre-made splits that I linked in the description. So first of all you want to open LiveSplit, decline the update, then we will want to right click it, go to open splits from file. Over here you want to navigate to the splits that you downloaded, so they are over here for me and they are loaded now. Now you want to right click again, go to edit splits, and over here you want to click activate. This will activate the auto splitter for the game so that the timing will actually be automatic. If you want to customize it, you can always go to the settings and change stuff over here. However, this will not be necessary for full game runs. So I will put this on my second monitor and tap into the game. Now if I start a new run again by pressing my keybind, you can see that immediately the timer automatically starts. I'm not doing anything. If I start again, it's going to just start a new run. If I set reload the game, it's going to pause and everything is counted correctly. Now additionally, if you want to speedrun specifically individual levels rather than the full game, then the step will be very slightly different. Once again, you need to go to the resources tab for Half-Life 2 on speedrun.com. Then you need to download these pre-configured splits for individual levels. I have them on my desktop now. We need to extract them. And then inside of LiveSplit, just open the split for the level that you are running. So for example, if I want to run Highway 17, I'm going to open the Highway 17 splits. Then of course you need to right click, go to Edit Splits and click Activate to make sure that the auto splitter is running. And now if I move this to my second monitor, then tab it to the game, and then start a new game on Highway 17. As you can see, the timer starts automatically. Now, if you want to bind starting an individual level run to a key, then this is something that you can do. The easiest way to do it is to first of all go to new game, then to the chapter that you want to speedrun. For example here, Highway 17, you can see that this says chapter 7. So now I'm going to do bind equals sign and then exec chapter 7. And now if I press my equals sign, you can see I'm going to start a new game on Highway 17 and the timer works perfectly. And lastly, we'll do some troubleshooting. First of all, if your game looks like this and nothing you do helps, then go into the console and type in mat hdl level 2. And if that's nothing, then try doing mat_tx level 95. Then once again mat hdl level 2. And then just type in mat Fulbright 0. And this should bring your game back to normal. There are, however, instances where this doesn't actually work for some people. If it doesn't work, then go to your h32.bat and edit it and add -tx level 95 at the end, like this. Then run the game. It's going to open in this weird small window because it's actually going to reset all of your graphic settings. You can set it to your native resolution. Then once again do mat tx level, make sure that it's 95, then mat hdl level 2. Then you want to actually close your game and then remove this from the launch file. Then start the game again. And now it should be completely fixed. If you are on Linux and you are having some trouble with running the game or anything like that, there is a special guide for Linux users for speedrunning Source Engine games, which I also linked in the description. This tutorial was only going over the very basic setup of how to install the game and how to run it. So next you will probably want to watch a tutorial that actually teaches you how to play the game. Good luck!